Everyone. While people keep pouring in or something, I have a few announcements to make. The talk here will be Peter Gleisner with talking about various bootkits, especially his new bootkit Stoned. But while we wait for you to settle, some announcements. I've asked around at the speaker's desk and info desk if they have anything to say, and there's quite a bit. For one, what kind of geeks are you? We use only a tenth of our bandwidth. Use more bandwidth, says Infodesk. Also, okay, but please use like wires, cables when you use more bandwidth. There's also a Twitter stream from the Infodesk. It's on the wiki page where they announce lost and found stuff. Many curious things have been found, and if you miss something, just go to the Infodesk. It will probably be there. Also, HAR is very much based on volunteering, so most of the guys here are volunteers, I think all of them. And you can help too by going to volunteer.har2009.org and signing up for various tasks like shifts on the Infodesk, standing behind the bar, helping out with various stuff. Please help out, it will be much appreciated. Anyone still coming? Of course they are. But I think we're ready up here, so this is Peter Gleisner, sorry again,
Sure.
with Bootkits and Stoned.
Okay, thank you. Well, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about the rise of MBR rootkits and bootkits in the wild, and I will also show you my Stoned bootkit, and I will talk about a few things I've experienced and also recently, and there are some really, really interesting things and topics about bootkits and how you can use them. And I want not only to cover the bootkit itself, but also the technique how to use it and how you can take advantage of it and how you can install it and basically how you can use it productionally. And of course I will also go into the history because previously there were some very interesting bootkits and more bootkits than you think there are, which have all the value in the timeline. And I will also talk about the future, what's upcoming then. And I am Peter Gleisner, and since I've worked for 1 year at the antivirus company until last week, which is a really interesting story because I have spoken at Black Hat also about the Stoned bootkit, and there were some misleading information and the media did not respond the same way I have spoken, and so people stated me as hacker and sent the company I've worked some emails and complained about it. So I lost my job, and right now I'm going to do my own startup, Insecurity Systems, which should handle security and insecurity of operating systems, making the products more secure and penetration testing them, also encryption software and all those stuff. A bootkit is a rootkit that's resisting in the master boot record, which is directly loaded by the BIOS. So it's the very first software that's executed on a computer. And here also the problem starts because the master boot record is not secured, and thus you do not have a trusted chain. And this means that the whole computer is insecure because the master boot record is insecure. And you can simply replace it with your own code with a rootkit or virus, which could capture your keys or just being memory resistant. And the interesting thing of the bootkit is that it has to load a part of the operating system. It's not a typical rootkit that's installed in the operating system, but it's active before the operating system. And for acting beside the operating system, it must specifically handle it and must be capable of going all the way through the transition from protected mode up to the running kernel, and must be able to be executed beside the kernel. In the history, we have seen different rootkits which have done different things, and for example, we have dedicated rootkits like the bootroot, which attacks only Windows XP, and others like Bootkit, which attacks only Windows 7. And my Stone Bootkit attacks now all Windows operating system from 2000 up to 7 with one single mass boot record. So it's much more stable and much more at production release. And bootkits have a long history. They started in 1987 with the original Stone virus, which was just a worm. It just infected all floppies and hard disks that were available on the computer. And it was quite common in the mid-90s. And it's very interesting, and a very interesting bootkit because it was not operating system dependent. It just copied itself, and it monitored the disk I/O system, and on every read and every write on any disk, it checked if it's already infected, and if not, infected it. And thus it was quite famous and quite much widespread. And today bootkits also have they have a target. For example, the bootroot and Bootkit, they were just proof of concept. And we have seen now also a malicious bootkit, MapRoot, which steals banking data. And also a very different one, and one which was not discussed previously, the Vista loader, which I'll discuss later. And there is also a long list of bootkits presented at security conferences. But still, there is not a lot of information about bootkits and about the pre-boot environment and how to develop them and how to develop with them. And this is also why I'm going to help this presentation. The typical usage of rootkits is, for example, for the original Stone bootkit, it was just printing out the message, your PC is now stoned, and just infecting. So basically just a worm. And now near bootkits, like the MapRoot, is stealing banking data. And for example, Comboot, which is also quite famous, bypasses the Windows and Linux security and the logon, so you don't have to enter password. And you can then take the CD with Comboot and go to a computer and start it, and you don't have to know the password of it, and you can still access then the operating system. And my Stone bootkit should be used for forensics and could also be interesting for law enforcement agencies because it's also bypassing full volume encryption. And so you can go to a computer which is fully encrypted and put with your software on it and install it. And when the user goes to the computer and start it up, it will become active when they enter the key, the password, and then it becomes active and has access to all the data. It's running beside Windows and can then basically do everything a normal Trojan can. And I also want to handle the Windows product activation. This is also a part of the Vista loader. And